Hello, welcome to Beautiful Subconscious. I am Shell Marie. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about kinesiology and your career. Why? Because one, it is one of the 4 pillars that we have in our Total Life Transformation 6-month program. And the reason why it's one of the pillars is because we spend majority of our weeks and majority of our lives within our work. And so we can often feel a sense of void or unfulfillment or stress generated from work, which impacts every area of our lives. We hold relationships at work. It can tie in with our livelihood of existence, our money. It can also have a sense of an effect on our health. So everything is interconnected. And if we are holding such limitations or trauma in and around our work and our careers, then that can have an impact. And I'm all about liberating what we don't know and what's holding us back and believing that this is the way that it's supposed to be or this is the way that it has to be. It's like, where did that come from? I'm always in that space of curiosity and inquiry. But before we really dive into it, of course, we're going to pull a card of this episode, an intentional card. So let yourself be open and receptive to what is coming through. And today we have got, okay, I'm an expansive divine soul. I'm an expansive divine soul. Okay, so if we were going to apply that into your career life, do you feel like you're an expansive divine soul? Do you feel expanded in your workplace? Do you feel lit up in your job, in your career, in your business? Do you feel like you are really pushing the edges of the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? And if not, then awesome. This was exactly why we needed to pull this card to dive into this conversation today. So many women that come to me, and men, don't get me wrong, they come in to see me because they are lacking meaning within their career. They are under the pump. They have built their way up to a certain level within their job or their career, corporate climb, say, for instance. And it's been an incredible ride. They've shown incredible resilience. They've triumphed in some, challenges and obstacles, and they got there. Wherever they got there. And once they got there, they're like, I'm exhausted. I'm stressed. I feel unfulfilled or still feel a sense of void within. And I just thought it would feel different. And so now that I'm here, where is there to go? Now there's none of this striving, and I don't know what my options are, because one, I've got livelihood depending on this job now. I'm in a financial position that I'm used to and I'm appreciative of, and it's giving me a great life for me and my family. But now, do I, in inverted commas, sell my soul and just stay here and settle? And is this what I'm going to do until I'm 65 when I retire, or, the very minimum when the kids grow up? Like, can I do this? Can I sustain this? And so this plays out in the backs of their heads every day. That's adding stress. That's adding angst. That's like weighing them down. And they're like, oh, I can't. And so they get sick. They're like screaming for a break. And they're like, I don't want to be ungrateful, because this is like, I've got a great job and my family's got a great life, but there's more, and I'm emotionally and mentally and physically exhausted. And so you can feel that within the sessions, and it's great. Like, this is why kinesiology is so powerful, because we take their symptoms of worry and stress and exhaustion, and we can trace it back and find what's where it's kind of expanded out into, and just alleviate the pressure, alleviate what seemed to be insurmountable, void. And once they're not carrying that, there's space for them. And a lot of women don't know what else is available to them. A lot of women feel like, oh, this is all the direction that I know, and if I was to change it up, I would have to start from square one again, and I don't really want to put my family through that, and it seems like having more work, and I just will stay with what I've always known. And look, that they're truly okay with that call, I'll have to question that. Like I would have to ask them to fully question if that's really true. But if they are, awesome, stick with that, because you never know, like they could be, they may understand that the career might not be where they're feeling their most expansive. It might be like, cool, I understand that this is just the game I'm playing within, to be able to then really expand out in the holidays or the family time, and that's okay. In my mind, I'm like, we can have it all, but if they're feeling at peace with that, awesome. So kinesiology and career, why we've gone hand in hand with that is because we can start to surface up the thought patterns, and then what's backing those thoughts with the, maybe the unconscious beliefs, and where these unconscious beliefs are having an impact, and really drawing back to, okay, what am I really worth? Like, am I really capable of that? And these things that are just playing behind the surface that have impact I'll just stick here because this is what I've been good at. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I've grown to have, and anything else I might not be as good. What if I fail? And so that's playing out. And so once we bring that up and start to, take the charge off of that, all of a sudden that's neutralized, and that's not necessarily their only truth that's playing out. Suddenly there's this openness of like, okay, there is endless possibilities here for me. If I was to get really curious now that I'm not carrying that stress and just allow myself to explore within my imagination, what could I really do? What lights me up? And if that's what lights me up, what do I need to do just to kind of take even a little step towards that? And this is where we have a career advisor to help just kind of reverse engineer. Okay, so in your perfect world, what does that look like? What would you be working as? What would you want to be doing? How much would you want to be working? How much would you like to be making? And, you let your imagination run wild, because again, it's only your imagination that would put limits on it. Yes, we want to work out realistically, like, okay, what does it need to take? But when you move your own subconscious blocks and the limitations that you've looked life through, and suddenly there's more expansion, and you're really leaning into that, I'm an expansive divine soul, then opportunities and the way that you can achieve the things that you want begin to become more clear, and you begin to have more awarenesses that, hey, it's really not as unattainable as what I first thought. It will be different. And yes, I'm going to be leaning into a whole lot of unknown. And yes, I'm going to be feeling a little uncomfortable potentially, because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, clearly. But once I know that everything is what I choose to perceive it through, and if I'm fearful, then that's obviously something that I can address, because it's something that's been just constructed in my subconscious, and I can always rewrite the narrative of my subconscious. You can continuously take your power back. And so with career and kinesiology, what I would love for you to take away from this episode, it's not going to be long, is for you just to allow your imagination to run wild. Like, what would it look like in your perfect career, or in your most ideal career? I know for me, I really wanted to work my career around my kids and be available to them. Yes, that stemmed from wounding growing up, where my parents weren't ever at any of my school things, and because they were really busting their balls to work hard and build something for themselves. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so they were working around the clock. My dad was always overseas. My mum was a shift worker as a nurse, so they were never around. And so with us 3 kids, we were left to fend for ourselves. Many of the kids from the 90s onward, like beforehand, would resonate with this also. And, with that, I got a lot of independence. That's a great gift that I got. I got a lot of learning how to fend for myself. But with that, there was a sense of, I would have loved that support. And, my kids probably take their upbringing and draw upon things that they're feeling like some needs weren't met, and they will probably, more than likely, apply that to what they would like to be more of for their kids. Or they may be like, hey, I got this need met and that meant so much to me, so I'm going to definitely apply that. So we always just take and evolve, right? Take and evolve. And so that was where my career aspirations came. I wanted to be able to be available for my kids. I wanted to have freedom within my day. I wanted to be helping people. And I just really wanted to learn how to understand people. I've always had such a deep interest in human behavior, human interaction. And then with that, I now know that the human interaction and human behavior always stems from within that human. And so understanding other humans, you must understand yourself first. And so this is how we are here, my friends. This is how kinesiology stumbled into my world. It wasn't anything that I had on my, career plan when I was in year 12 of this is what I'm going to be when I'm, 20 years from now. But here we are. And I'm pretty sure it's almost 20 years from then. Yikes. Probably actually a lot longer than that. But it was always a sense of I just wanted my freedom and to be around my kids. And so what would yours look like? Like, I love that I can take my kinesiology work and I can be anywhere in the world. All my sessions, all my programs are online. My one-to-one, consulting, they're all online. I can be in, Northern Hemisphere. I can be anywhere in the world and I can be here. And my clients are everywhere in the world as well. There's just an endless amount of opportunities of people to help and to also nourish what my needs are. And that's freedom, experiences, adventure, family. It's all there. And so what would yours look like? If you could map out, like, I am so grateful for this is what my job would look like. What does that look like? How does that make you feel? So your takeaway today's episode, if you could write down just a little bit of homework for yourself, a little self-inquiry of like, what would my career look like? How would that make me feel? I love it so much because of why the values of the work that I do are, this is what I get from my work. Like, my meaning is I get to help people come back home to themselves, which is really, really intriguing because there's a sense of I want to be able to be anywhere in the world, but ultimately what matters the most is I'm at home within myself. And so I would love to hear what yours is. And once you've written down what your career looks like or what it would feel like for you, then is there a way that you can just read that every day? Like, read that every day. Connect your soul into that. Allow your expansive divine soul to really feel into those like fibers. And then with that, it's going to start to open things up. And if you just trust, like, your mind will probably be like, but how? Like, there's bills to pay. Like, don't be ridiculous. So you'll try to override it, no doubt. But if you could just understand that's what the brain's trying to do in protection when sticking with the familiar, if you just allow your heart to lean into it, it will give you some more bandwidth. It'll give you more space. And then when you have more space, more opportunities will drop on in. And then it's when the opportunities drop in, it's with kinesiology that we can support you in seeing more for yourself because it's all already there. You just feel more connected to the knowingness and the part of you that's more assured in like, yes, I can do this. This is the aligned action that I see and have got it within me to take because I am forever supported. I hope you've taken a sense of aspiration and inspiration within your career from this episode and just really connecting to that knowingness that something else could be available if that's what you want. Know that there's always people out there to support you to grow a little more, to feel more fulfilled, to deepen in your connections. And that's the beauty of it. We can clear your subconscious and the programming you've always become accustomed to and have someone also guide you with industry strategies of what's available this year, this day and age, what's available for you in your current situation and circumstances, just to change, even if it's 1%, 5%, 20% in service of your fulfillment or your growth or a pay increase or, a career prospect, then you deserve to just take the information and just see how it lands. That's what we're all about. Clear your own fear, get out of your own way, be open to new possibilities. implement some strategies and see how much life can radically change. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate your ears and your presence. If you've taken something from today's episode, please share it to the people that you feel this could help or who could really hear this today. If you feel like the program is something that you would be interested in, your partner would be interested in, and by goodness gracious, do it together. We are taking couples in because the journey is better growing with the people that you love. And if you can both grow together, then this is what it's all about. So if you're able to do it together, we would love to get you on the wait list, a total life transformation within your health, within your career, within your money, and within your relationships. You'll be able to have the energetics as well as the expert industry strategies customized exclusively one-to-ones with you so we can be in your corner for your success. So thank you again. Until next week, take care of you. Guys, if you're ready to get to the bottom of your crippling self-doubt and finally resolve it from its root source, or if you're feeling like your career isn't hitting the mark and you're questioning where life's heading, if you crave relief from physical pain and just need some real answers, and if you're ready to flip your financial script and rewrite your money story not only through your subconscious but with professional practical tools, then jump on board our waitlist now. This 6-month program is breaking new ground in blending subconscious mastery and expert strategy for your success. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on this transformational journey. We are diving deep into those unconscious barriers, and with a dedicated team, we are focusing on your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your career. So hit the show notes, click apply, jump on the wait list, because this is the way to pave your path to true empowerment. I can't wait.
Audience exclusive.